Okay.
Should I share again?
Yeah, I think it was finished. Getting back to my notes. Hold on just a second. Pulling my notes back up here. Lost my notes. Okay. So again, that video, again, the power of branding, the power of marketing. And we see it every day. You come across hundreds and hundreds of advertisements a day, whether you pay attention or notice it or not. And so again, that purpose of marketing is to persuade you or tempt you or motivate you to purchase a product or service. Okay. So we can go ahead and move to the next slide. Okay. So I have my students do this as well. So when you are marketing, you have to understand. There are 4 P's of marketing. There is product, place, price, and promotion. And when you are trying to market your product, you want to be able to understand the 4 P's. That's called the marketing mix, and you need to be able to do all 4 of those things for your product. So understanding where you are um, in the marketplace via a SWOT analysis. And a SWOT analysis is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And actually, my students just had to do this last week. And so when you are doing a SWOT analysis, anytime you have a new product or service, even if the product has already existed for a time, you want to do a SWOT analysis. And this is going to help you understand what you need to do in terms of marketing. And so you will use this to help define your target audience. It will also help you write SMART goals. Do you all know what SMART goals? Do you know what SMART stands for? Because my students had to do this as well. Anybody know what SMART goals are? The acronym SMART stands for. If you don't, you can drop no in the chat. That is completely understandable. If you don't know it, that's what I am here for. Okay, anybody want to take a guess at what SMART? Because it's an acronym. The S stands for something, the M stands for something, the A, the R, the T, they all stand for something. Anybody want to take a guess?
Is M measurable?
So the M is measurable. Mm-hmm.
A, is it achievable, I think?
Achievable or attainable. Yep.
Um, T is time. R
Yep. T is time.
is, I don't remember what R is. Reachable?
So
I don't
R can
know.
be like realistic. And
Oh,
then what
yeah,
is the
yeah.
S?
Um, yeah, I don't remember that one.
Yeah,
Sustainable? I
so
don't
it's
remember.
specific. So it's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, or relatable and timely. Okay, so SMART goals, SWOT analysis, analyzing your strategies, and then setting your budget. All of that is part of the 4 P's of marketing. All of that is how you begin to put together marketing for your product. Okay, so and again, SWOT is, and I think that's going to be on another slide, so you'll actually see what it looks like: the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we can move to the next one. So again, when I have my students do their SWOT analysis, I usually have them do a quadrant. And so your strengths and your weaknesses are things that you can kind of control internally. So inside of the business. So what is your business good at? I would tell my students to list 3 things that their business is good at. What are some areas that your business is weak in? So again, inside of the business. Now, your opportunities and threats, those are external. So those are things outside of the business. So what opportunities are in place for your business to be successful, for it to thrive? What are some threats that could impact purchases or anything like that? So for most people, a threat is like competition. Your competition is a threat, and you always to pay attention to the competition in terms of seeing what they do well and what they don't do well, so you can kind of to capitalize on what they're not doing well. So this is what a situational, I'm sorry, a SWOT analysis looks like. And like I said, I always have my students do that before we get into like doing any type of marketing. Okay. So go to the next slide. Okay, so what is the target audience? I kind of mentioned this earlier. I said we would talk about it. So basically, anytime you have a product or service, new business, whatever it is, you do not everybody's not going to be your customer, let me say that, and you don't want to try to market to everybody. That's why there's a such thing called niche marketing. So within marketing you have marketing, and then you might have something called niche marketing, which means that's a smaller subset of a target audience. Okay, and so when you're trying to find out who's your target audience, you're looking at what age group is going to enjoy this product or service. What gender is going to, because you're not, some products are not geared for men or women. Okay. What is the income level that we want this target audience to have? Because our product may be expensive. What is the motivation behind them wanting to buy our product? Okay, what problem are you solving? Because people tend to purchase based on a need, mostly a need or a want, and so you have to play on. You have to use some marketing psychology. So I won't get too much into psychology of marketing because that's a thing. You want to play on the emotions of something, but knowing who your audience is can save you a lot of headache and a lot of money, because not every product is geared towards everyone. Okay, so let me see. I'm trying to think of one. Uh, let's see. Like, I don't know if you guys know what Nair is. Nair is a lotion that women would put on, that removes hair off their legs so they don't have to shave. Okay, now men could probably use it, but when in the commercials from like the 90s, early 2000s, you did not see men in their commercials. It was women. So it was women of a certain age. And the problem they were solving was women with hairy legs. Women don't want hairy legs. And so you have this lotion that you leave on your legs for about 2 or 3 minutes. All you had to do was take a rag and wipe it off, and the hair was gone. So that eliminated the need to shave. Okay. So that's an example of a product that is geared towards a certain demographic or target audience. Okay. We can go to the next slide. Okay, so again, the SMART goals, you have your target audience, then you go into your SMART goals. So again, we said specific, be clear, and concise. This also helps you know how and where to get started. So anytime you do any type of marketing campaign, marketing plan, you have to have a clear goal or goals in mind. If you don't, you're going to waste a lot of time and a lot of money. So you want to be clear about whatever your product or service is. What are we specifically trying to do? Then you need to make it measurable. Measurable goals can be tracked, allowing you to see your progress. Okay. So when we say measurable goals, we're talking about, do we want a set number of followers? Do we want a certain amount of sales? Do we want a certain amount of, if we do an email marketing campaign, we want an open rate of 60%. So measurable with numbers. Then actionable. Are you able to take action to achieve the goal? Actionable goals ensure steps to get there within your control. So what actions are you going to take to reach this specific measurable goal? Make it realistic. Okay. If let's say you have an Instagram page for your product, and you have 50 followers, and you say, in a month I want to grow it to 10,000. Is it based on the product? Is that realistic to go from 50 to 10,000 in a month? Well, let's say we want to try to get 1,000 in a week. That's more realistic because you can put some things on that Instagram to increase the followers. Realistically, you can go from 50 to 1,000 in 7 days. Okay, and time bound. Again, a date helps us stay focused, motivated. So within a week, we need to move from 50 to 1,000 followers on Instagram. How are we going to do that? What is it going to look like? And you always want to do a call to action on anything that you're doing, a CTA, call to action. So you want to specifically tell your audience what you want them to do. We want you to follow us. We want you to text us. We want you to email us. So specifically tell them what you want them to do. Oh, there is a men's nair now. I did not know that. So thank you. I think that Summer, that's Zoom user. There's men's. I'm gonna have to look at that. I had no idea. Thank you for that. Okay. Um, yes, we can go to the next slide. Okay. So again, um, just reiterating, the SMART, set real numbers with real deadlines. Don't say I want more visitors. And this is what I have to get on my students about. You guys, it's all about details. Be as detailed and, again, specific as possible. Don't say I want more visitors. Say I want 1,000 more visitors to the website. Do make sure your goal is trackable. Don't hide behind buzzwords like brand engagement or social influencer. Make sure that you can track those visitors. Attainable. Work towards a goal that is challenging but possible. Don't try to take over the world in one night. Again, don't try to grow from 50 to 10,000 in a month. That might not happen. Realistic. Be honest with yourself. Do you know what you and your team are capable of? Don't forget any hurdles you have to overcome. And then give yourself a deadline. Don't keep pushing towards a goal you might hit someday. You can go from 50 to 1,000 in 7 days. You probably can't go from 50 to 10,000 in a month. Okay, unless you do something. Everybody wants to go viral, so unless you create something that once in a lifetime will go viral, then that could be possible. But let's be realistic. Okay. Oh, and see, we are up at our our only break. So that's about 19 minutes. So just come back here at 7:40 and we will be finishing up the rest of our workshop. Any questions, anybody?
No.
Okay. Thank you. See you guys at 7:40. You've gotten your SWOT analysis done. Then you're talking about getting into your marketing plan. Okay. And so, yeah, go back. There we go. Thank you. So when you are doing your marketing plan, there are strategies, tactics, and objectives. So your strategies are what it is you're going to do. Your tactics are what are you going to do with those strategies, right? And so you have several ways that you can reach your target audience, or especially when you have your SMART goals. So you have your objective, your goal, your main marketing goal. Or how are we going to do that? How are we going to get 1,000 followers or whatever your goal is. Okay, well, some things you can do are like giveaways. You can use influencers. We're starting to see like influencer marketing is very very huge now. And then of course the traditional paid advertising. So what I'm gonna have you guys do real quick is and you can actually drop this in the chat, right? So let's say I give you $100 to promote a lip gloss brand. Tell me which one you would do. You can drop the letters in the chat. So I gave you $100 to promote a lip gloss brand. Do you A, run an IG ad, pay an influencer, or A, run an IG ad, B, pay an influencer, or C, do a giveaway? You can drop that in the chat. So $100. This is a marketing tactic to promote a lip gloss brand. Are you doing an IG ad, paying an influencer, or doing a giveaway? Okay. So I see Roxy has an IG reel. And tell me, okay. So now, once you tell me which one you pick, tell me why. Okay. So Roxy said an IG reel. You may have to come off of mute to kind of explain that one so that it.
For me,
So
when oh sorry, for me
no, go
when
ahead.
I see like anything, I don't like because I see a lot of giveaways mainly, and I'm always like I've never seen this product being used and it's only being given away. So I'm usually like a very like skeptical type of person. So I think that for me, I would like to do a advertisement because I feel like there's so many different ways to show off how shiny and how long lasting a lip gloss can be. Because that's something I definitely do struggle to find how long a lip gloss
Okay.
lasts.
Gotcha. Okay. Anybody else? Influencer because they have more impact and more audience to be able to open the product. Okay. So we got influencer. Rima, why'd you pick influencer? You can answer that in the chat. Anybody else? So we got influencers. We got IG. Nobody interested in doing a giveaway. Okay. Um, drop a me in the chat if you've been on TikTok and you've seen people convince you to buy stuff off TikTok. I know I have. So TikTok gets me every time, right? So I don't know if you guys. So the Michael Jackson movie's coming out Friday, and I don't know if you've seen this, but I actually bought, and I'm gonna show you guys what I did. And tell me if you've seen this shirt on TikTok. Tell me if you've seen this shirt. So you can just say yes if you've seen that shirt on TikTok. So the Michael Jackson movie is coming out Friday, and I've been seeing this daggone shirt all over TikTok. So my husband ordered me the shirt. TikTok is the devil. Okay, so but again, that's a marketing tactic. Okay, so if you're on TikTok, you probably didn't bought something because you saw it. Okay, so again, those are just a few ways, and there's tons of other marketing tactics. Okay, there's just excuse me a few. We can go ahead to the next slide. So we got our SMART goals, our SWOT analysis. We know who our target audience is. We came up with some tactics. On here, we actually should have talked about strategies because first you have to have your strategies. Once you know your strategies, then you are moving into the tactics of how you're going to do those things. And then, of course, with any marketing plan, any marketing campaign, you have to have a budget. Okay, you have to have money to market. And I know so here in Louisville, so I have a marketing consultant business and I work with a lot of black owned businesses here. And so a lot of the time these black businesses do not have money to really market. So for the most part, a lot of small businesses, not just black businesses, they rely so heavily on social media because for the most part it's free. But that can't be the only source of how you're trying to get your business exposure. And so at some point, you're going to have some money to be able to budget. That's why I gave you the task. I said $100. How would you promote this lip gloss brand? Okay, because at some point you have to have some money to be able to market, however that looks like. Okay. And so you definitely want to have a budget. So some of you all said Instagram, TikTok, and of course, on those social media platforms, you can pay for sponsored ads, and they try to make them real cheap. But even in doing that, making it real cheap, it's only going to reach so many people. But remember what I said earlier: everybody's not your customer. Everybody's not in your target market. And so, with doing like sponsored ads on TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, you have to get real specific about who you want this to reach, and you want to make sure you know how much it's going to cost. Same thing with like TV. TV is probably the most expensive form of advertising that you can have. Now I think social media marketing can get expensive as well, but TV, just because a lot of people, for the most part, watch TV, that can get out to millions of people. It has visual and it has sound, so people can see and hear, and that's why TV. That's why Super Bowl ads cost. I think last year the average price for a 30-second commercial for the Super Bowl was like $7 million. Okay, and so you know, you definitely have to have a budget in order for your message to be put in front of your target audience. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like if you're going to do sponsor ads. It looks like that might be from Facebook. So also think about that, and you want realistic budget as well. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, we can go to the next slide. So identifying your marketing channels. Okay, so we kind of talked a little bit about this with the social media marketing, and so this is what I was trying to get my students to understand too, because they're having to right now they're having to choose how they're going to advertise this business, the local business that I was talking about earlier, and so they were like, oh, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, and I was like, well, that's all under social media, so they get to choose between social media marketing, email, billboard, radio, TV, magazine, and they have to do brand activation. Okay, so all of those are ways to market the business. Okay, so you want to identify the best way to reach your target audience. That's why it's important to know who your target audience is. Because once you know that, and you're gonna have to research like what advertising mediums do they utilize the most? Okay. So again, it says, where do you start? Should you do all or some? Remember earlier, I talked about niche marketing because even within that target audience, you can have a smaller subgroup. So a niche market would be pregnant moms. You might have a product that is specifically for pregnant moms. Okay, so that's a niche market. And which ones are the best? So my students, they had to look at the pros and cons of each of those. So that's going to be part of your research when you are coming up with your marketing plan. Know the pros and cons of each of those advertising mediums. And with technology, whether it is today, you can easily ask ChatGPT or you could Google, once you know who your target audience is, what is the best way to reach this target audience? Okay, and so that way you're not wasting your time or money. And again, knowing who they are, you're going to know which medium they prefer. Okay, so identifying your marketing channels. Again, it's not just social media, it's email, it's TV, radio, even billboards. Okay. Any questions about that? Okay. Next slide. So we've identified our target market. We might have a niche market. We know how we're going to advertise. Um, we know our SMART goals. We know our SWOT analysis. We got a budget. We're trying to put all of this together. So how are we going to project and track all of our marketing efforts? Okay. So you're always making sure that you are tracking them. And so that means, so go back to think about to the SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely. Um, when I said your goal was to go from 50 to 1,000 followers in a week. Okay. Well, how are you tracking that? Well, all you got to do is go on your Instagram page probably and look at the follower count each day. What is your audience size? How can you measure this? Um, if you're going to, again, leaning heavy into social media, make sure you're checking. They have analytics for a reason. Check your analytics. Okay, that's a good place. With IG analytics, it shows you the time that is most popular, the day that is most popular. They break it down to men and women, so which gender resonated the most with your IG posts. It even will tell you what part of the country or other countries they are in. So utilizing those analytics, so that's kind of doing the work for you. How many sales are coming in as a result of your marketing? Is it we'll say the lip gloss brand, do you see an increase in sales or orders picking up? How many people are sharing your brand? So if you on Instagram, you can go into the search bar, and if you put the name of the lip gloss brand in there, it'll show you any post that has that brand mentioned in it. And what's your brand's impression on people? How are you going to track that? Again, that's probably going to come from putting that brand name in the search bar and seeing what people are saying. So those are ways to project and track what that social media marketing is doing for your brand. Okay. Next slide. So, oh, okay. So that looks like that was it. But let me see if I have anything on here in my notes. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Let me give you one more thing to do, and then if you have any questions. Okay. So now that you know, um, let's go back to the SMART goals. So I want you all to come up with a product, um, and give me a SMART goal for that product. So just come up with a product, give the product a name, and then come up with a specific goal, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely. So if we need to go back to, can we go back to the slide that has the SMART goals on there?
Okay, I'm sorry. 1 second.
No problem. Then we'll be wrapping up after this.
You said with the SMART.
Yeah, where it
Okay.
had the SMART acronym. So while we're pulling that up, think about the product, your brand. Okay. So have the brand, have the name, then do a go back to the other one. Go back to the other one. That's before this slide. Yeah, yep. Okay. So with this product that you are going to come up with the name, I want you to have a clear and specific goal for this brand. Okay. Then from that goal, I want you to have a measurable goal that can be tracked. So, how are you going to measure that goal? What action are you going to take to achieve that goal? Okay. And be realistic in that. And then what's the timeline to achieve that goal? So, product with the product name, a specific goal for that product, how you're going to measure it, what steps are you going to take, and just be realistic in that, and then in what time frame. So take about 2 minutes. If we need to go longer, we will, but we'll be finished after this. So take about 2 minutes, product name, and then specific goal for that, how you're going to measure that goal, what action are you taking to achieve that goal, and in what time frame. So it's like the Instagram post we were talking about going from the 50 to 1,000 in a week. What are you going to do to get from a 50 to 1,000 in a week? So that's basically what you're doing.
You have a question, Roxy?
I wanted to say what I had got.
Oh, okay. Yep. So we can go ahead. So if you all are finished, okay. Yes, Roxy, go right ahead.
Okay, so for mine, I put livery lamps because it's just the weirdest time I've ever known. I would my specific goal is to have 100 sales in the launch month. Um, Measurable would be through the sale charts, like whenever we would get like a notification through every sale we make. And then actionable, I would take advantage of like any kind of local events to make sure I'm like connecting with people nearby, and also doing advertisements and getting influencers. Realistic because it'll be within a month, so it look because it's 100 sales like through the first month, and then time bound within the month.
Okay, good job. Let's give Roxy a hand. Woo-hoo. Wish we had some horns. I'd be like, boo, 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 boo. Okay, who's next? Anybody? Anybody else? Let's see. We got Rima, Evie, Stephanie, Isaac. Isaac, you've been kind of quiet.
Okay, I'm gonna
Isaac,
go.
be on.
So for
Okay,
my
Miss Rima.
product, I'm gonna still stick with sunscreen, and
Okay,
then it's gonna be called no cast, right? Because I don't want no cast on my sunscreen. And
okay,
then for my specific goals, probably um 20 sales for a week.
okay,
How I'm gonna measure it? Probably. So I'm pretty sure there's an app that one of my friends was using to like measure all their sales and stuff. So it measures like their sales, the revenue. And then actionable, probably advertising, probably on TikTok, because that's where things go viral the most. And I think it's realistic because 20 shouldn't be that much. And for my time bond, it should be a week.
okay. So you said 20 sales in a week.
Yes.
Okay, that's very realistic. Okay, good job. Let's give Rima a round of applause. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, let's get one more. Isaac, you've been kind of quiet on us. Let's what you have? What do you have? Is Isaac in the room with us?
Um, hello. Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I did toys. My product is like a buildable robot toy kit, and then the name is called Robo Snap.
Okay.
And then my goal, I'm gonna increase sales by 20% in 6 months. Um, by launching it in online stores and reaching like 50K kids through social media ads and like school partnerships. And
Okay.
yeah,
And you said you were
that's it.
gonna do how many sales? And
I'm
you
sorry, you
said
said what?
you said you were gonna do how much? How many in sales?
I'm trying to increase it by like 20%,
Oh,
6 months.
20%. Oh, okay, 6 months. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Cool. Good job. Let's give Isaac a round of applause. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, so good job, you all. So hopefully that that wasn't too too nerve-wracking for you all. I know it's in the middle of the week. We getting close to the weekend. Tomorrow is Friday Eve. And like I said, you know, we didn't go till 8:30. It never really does. I think that's the time frame that they give us. But think we covered a good amount of information in an hour and a half, and hopefully you all have felt that this workshop was productive for you and you learned a lot. Hopefully you enjoyed the presentation. I tried to make it as engaging as possible. Trust me, I with teenagers, I know you guys have short attention spans, and you'd rather be doing something else. So I definitely tried to make this as interactive as I could. So hopefully you all enjoyed the workshop. So I think Miss Tiana dropped a Google link survey in there. She says she needs you all to complete that before you log off. So please make sure you get that completed. And I think rate me. Hopefully I did a good job. Hopefully you enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to seeing the feedback on this presentation because I think that's part of the survey. So go ahead and get that done. And you all have a good evening. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Let me know if you have any additional questions that I can answer for you. But otherwise, once you finish the survey, just put a D for done in the chat, and good night.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Bye, you all.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Night, Isaac.